getting word that we are ready to run on this Final Fantasy VII run. So Dois, I'm gonna let you take it away. Let's go.
Hello everybody. Welcome to Final Fantasy VII. My name is Dois. I'm gonna be running the Final Fantasy VII on the PC version, the Steam version. I'm here with Miss Baker. You wanna say hi?
Hello.
Miss is like one of the best runners of this game. Also one of the runners that put in the most work. Okay, so we are ready to go then. I'm gonna be playing, just make sure everything is okay here. We're gonna be playing Final Fantasy VII on the PC version. As I was saying, Miss Baker is one of the runners that put in the most work in this game. And we're ready to start. So I'm gonna do a countdown. 3, 2, 1, go! So Final Fantasy VII in the PC version is pretty much the same game as the PSX version. It has the core mechanics are all the same. The main couple differences are that we have some extra glitches that we can use, mainly to break the game completely. We'll get to that. I'm not going to spoil anything so far. We also have some difference on menus. The battle menu in this game is kind of janky. It's on 15 FPS. Yeah, it's not on 60 like the PSX version. So it's a little bit slow, a little bit janky. We also have some problems with the double inputs on menu, so I'm gonna let Mies explain that a bit better.
All right, so yeah, as Dois already said, so we're kind of playing the broken version of the game right now. I mean,
yeah.
FF7 is basically broken in all versions. We have like new glitches and new skips in all categories at the moment. But at least like on console, we're like talking about like 6 to 7 hours, so we call that the full run, even if it still skips a lot of the parts of the game. And in PC version, we have like a really short run, as you can probably see already by the estimate. And
yeah,
60,
sure.
yeah, PC version, PC version has some input stuff. So basically battles, and the thing is the PSX is a console that is pretty interesting. It's capable of using multiple frame rates on a single screen. So it can run like, it can run a battle in 15 FPS and can run other elements on the screen in 60 FPS. It has variable frame rates on the same screen, which is very unique. And PC
also
just is
annoying.
not able to do that. So on PC, they were just like, let's just put everything to 15 FPS. So basically only every fourth input works, and it caused a lot of issues. And yeah, in menus, you have like kind of like frame-based input read. So it gives you like really, it gives you a pretty hard time to input the stuff correctly. But it's not too, we don't have to like go into detail on that. So let's go into the run right now. So
let's start with the menu to show how bad it is.
Yeah, first. Okay, so start of the run is basically just something that you always do in FF runs. You start off with a menu that's just to set everything to fast speed. So we basically just go in the menu to put battle speed, dialogue speed, to fast, and we also put ADB to active. As you can see, ADB active is just for escapes. So basically, we run away from all the random battles, and you can run away from battles only for as long as the ADB is rolling. Like the RNG that lets you run away from fights is tied to the character ADBs. And
good ADB on the beginning.
Yeah, yeah, right. First fight, pretty good ADBs. And yeah, for escapes, like when you put ADB to wait, when an enemy attacks, then ADB holds, and it makes it harder to run away. So we put it on active just because we can run away faster. That's basically the trick. Okay, going right into naming skip. That's...
Okay, you got it. Nice.
Nice,
so
very good.
That is a very, very precise trick.
Yeah. So this goes straight into... So this is it's a very skip-heavy run and glitch-heavy run.
Nice. Perfect. Okay,
Yeah,
so you
okay.
can explain that now.
Yeah, okay, right. It's a lot of stuff at the same time. So the first thing we did was just the sequence where Cloud and Barrett receive their names and where there's the first cutscene is possible to skip just with very precise inputs. Like the trigger line that causes that dialogue is just possible to just sneak by, and it just requires very precise movement, and you did that well. And after that, what we saw was menu buffering a fight. So that's the entrance of talking about step count in this game. The thing is that every single encounter in this game is tied to how you move. There is no RNG in terms of what inputs you do or how much time has passed. So it's barely actually random. Like whenever you start FF7 from a new game, everything that happens considering random encounters is consistent for as long as the movement you do. Everything is freedom. Yeah. For as long as the movement you do is similar. And basically the way we make use of that is that either we walk, which allows us to skip fights or manipulate what outcomes we get. And the other thing that you just saw was a menu. So when you know exactly on 1 pixel in the movement, a fight trigger will happen, and you open a menu just when you run over that, then you're actually able to skip that encounter. The reason why we don't do that more often is that we can only afford it ever so often. Like, there is a variable in this game that we call danger value, and it doesn't stop increasing when you menu skip a fight. So basically, most of the time when you would menu skip a fight, you would just get another fight right afterwards. So we have like...
it's usually not worth it.
Yeah, we have like 2 or 3 encounters, I think, that are worth skipping because they don't change the rest of how we routed it. But like the thing that you really have to keep in mind about step count right now, like I could go really deep in detail right now about step count, but I don't want to do that.
It's not worth it.
yeah, right. So
it's a bit
I just
too
want to say
complicated.
is, whenever you see movement done by the runner, that does not seem like optimal movement to go from one point to the exit of the screen. If there's like walking or if there's like running up and down or things like that. Whenever there's movement where you're like, that's probably not optimal, that's manipulation of encounters. Because
like what I'm about to do now.
Yeah, what we're about to do, yeah. So now we're gonna walk like 8 animated steps, because we know that, okay, so the thing is, I'm gonna give a little bit of note. When you walk, then the danger value increases slower than when running. So we can skip some battle triggers if you walk for like a small amount of steps. That's like basically the idea about it.
Yeah, now we're coming up to the first boss fight.
J2,
most
it's not
boss fights in this game.
J2, step count is not a bus. I disagree.
Most boss fights in this game are like tossing grenades. We're gonna get to that later, but we don't have grenades yet, so we're gonna be using regular attacks and bolt. Cloud's bolt does extra damage on Scorpion because he's a machine. So we're actually gonna be doing quite a lot of damage. If he targets Cloud too much, I might have to defend 1 turn, because if he does all attacks at Cloud and does all attacks are the tail hit, okay, it's rifle, that's fine. Then Cloud can take like too much damage and end up dying. It can actually happen. It's pretty rare.
Yeah, basically the idea in the fight is just Cloud use bolt, Barrett use attacks, and you have to make sure that the one that is supposedly getting the limit break isn't first in turn, because we're on ADB active, which means that turns are back to back. And basically, if someone gets a limit break, then you can use 3 turns in a row, because limit breaks have priority. The moment you select a limit break, even if another turn is buffered up before it, the limit break will go first. And you only have time to use that priority if the character who gets limited first. And Guard Scorpion, being as friendly being as friendly as it is, shows you by search scope who is gonna target. So you can basically, okay, so no one got limit from search scope. Now we have to basically.
We have to use a bolt, and he's gonna use tail laser. You guys can see I have a attack queued up.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do, as soon as it lowers his tail, I'm gonna attack, bolt, and then limit break. So I have 3 attacks in the same turn, increasing the damage output, and like, because his animations are pretty long overall.
Are you gonna skip the next search scope with that?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think it would have been better to actually do another bolt, but
oh, that's true. That's fine. Basically, yeah, doing another build was a bit scary.
Like, it would have been perfect if you got a crit, actually.
Yeah. But basically, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, okay. Because I did the first name skip in the beginning, Barrett is level 1 here, am I right? I think it's 1. So he does very little damage. Usually he's level 5. And
I don't think that he's... Is he level 2? He's level 2, yeah. Like he
True?
gets he gets increased a little bit by Cloud's level. Like whenever you get someone in the party, they get
yeah, as Miz was saying, I'm gonna do a very, very specific movement here that doesn't seem optimal to go from point A to point B, but it's all intended. Oh, I passed a little bit.
Okay, yeah. So this is like something that in the full run we have to do kind of things like that a lot, but in this run it's mostly here that we have this very precise movement. What we have to do here is basically...
that's not good. I think I wasted too many steps.
No, you can mash after that. You can mash up and grab the ladder. That's no problem.
Oh, okay. Then it's fine.
Just mash and don't move, and it should be fine. You should be able to grab the ladder. Or do like a fraction forward. Just fraction forward.
Well, I'm gonna have to improvise a little bit, but let's see if this works. Should I do this setup? I think so. Let's see if it works.
Yeah. Okay. So the goal is actually that you leave reactor 1 with a specific step ID. So you want to have like a consistency in the movement. So every 8 frames of movement hostile screen, the game increases step ID. So it's not like super precise, not like frame precise. Okay. You just need to be able to finish the reactor on a specific step, which means within the window of 8 frames. Because then we can...
I can always adjust to the, like, on the sewers, if anything.
I mean, it's... I don't know. I mean, you have to know right now if you're a step behind or if it's the same step ID. If it's the same step ID, you do the same thing. If you're 1 step ID behind, then you have to do something else.
That's fair. But yeah, basically, I was trying to leave the reactor on a specific step ID because on the next boss fight, we can actually get a preemptive attack on him. If I get a preemptive attack, I can do 3 grenades and then use a Braver, which is Cloud's limit break. And that allows us to... besides doing 4 attacks in a turn, Braver is actually does more damage because it's on the first turn. So we can actually do like 500 damage with the Braver and save a couple grenades. It's always nice.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, so the step count in this game is probably, like if you know any FF run, you know about step count, that the way you move controls all the battle outcomes. In this game, it's particularly powerful. So preemptive means that you get a back attack on the opponent. You get the first turn and the first hit does double damage. And it's tied also to step count. Like if we force a fight in a specific place, we know what step ID we have, and then we walk, I don't know, 8 steps, for example, until a boss trigger. And the moment we trigger the boss, we have a preemptive step, so that in a fight that we would get there would be a preemptive escape, then the boss can also be a preemptive. It happens on like 3 or 4 bosses in the game. And on apps, it's
not on this run though.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah, it would be important on this run because on apps has increased back attack damage. That's another thing. This game has actually a stat for back attack damage. That's the same reason how the airbuster stats work before something that we're gonna get to.
Yeah,
so
we're not gonna see
normally
airbuster.
A Braver would do like 120 damage only with Cloud right now, but it does like 500 on apps because we have 4 times back attack damage on apps, which is something that is it is designed like that to balance out its tour stuff. But I'm gonna get to that. Basically, right now we actually, I think we have time actually for some donations, or is there something important?
Yeah,
right
we have some text.
We have some
donations now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I've got. Boy, do I have a donation! I was watching the tracker, and we hit 1.2, and then all of a sudden we're at 1.25 million, and that is thanks in large part to the Yeti donating $60,000.
Oh, wow.
Their donation message says, "Hey, all Yeti here. I'm excited to announce that we've officially hit 100,000 donated for this event from your orders. Thank you for your continued support. Every order helps us support Prevent Cancer Foundation and their amazing work. We've had an incredible time this week. We'd like to give a massive shout out to everyone on staff and volunteering to make this event what it is. Yeti, thank you so much. That is amazing. And if you haven't gotten any of your GDQ merch, GDQ swag, make sure you head over to the Yeti. I make sure I get at least a t-shirt every year. They've got some amazing stuff.
That's incredibly generous. Thank you very much. I guess now it's a good time to explain how paralysis dodge work. If you want to go ahead, Miss, we're gonna do a couple of skips with that.
You're gonna do it first, and then I'm gonna talk about it.
Oh, okay. That's fair. That's fair. So, yeah, I'm gonna do a skip called Jesse skip. The skips in Final Fantasy VII, they are not very creative. They are very straightforward. So I'm gonna attempt it real quick. I can try again. If it like a second try would not save time, but I'm gonna do it just for show. If I fail, but it's not a very tough trick. So I'm gonna focus a little bit.
Yeah. So.
Oh, I had it. My bad. Okay. I had it, but I released circle too early.
Okay, so what we are doing here is something that will repeat throughout the run very many times. Basically, this is something that Brutal AI found. He actually found most of the time saves in the game already like 10 or more years ago. He's like our father of Final Fantasy VII time saves, and this is like from very old videos. And this is one of the first ones that he gave us. Basically, what you do here is you go over a trigger line that triggers an event. The trigger line we go over is if you just pass all the way to the south, the guard will push you out and say like, hey, this is not your card. Like go back to where you come from, right? And at the same time, you can talk to Jesse. And this is basically how most of the skips work. When you trigger two events at the same time, like an event from proximity over a trigger line and a dialog box from activating something with a button, from a confirm button, then the paralysis is getting deleted. So basically, when you talk to someone, or there's any sort of hang up or talking to someone, the game freezes your movement until the dialogue is finished. However, if you trigger two dialogue events at the same time, that paralysis is gone, which is why we call it paralysis dodge. And paralysis dodge allows you to skip a lot of things because you're able to move. What it basically does is it allows you to move in places where you're not supposed to be able to move. So what he basically just did there, he triggered the dialogue with Jessie, where she goes into the route map scene and starts hitting on Cloud, and it's taking like 15 seconds. And while that actually happens, he just runs back and forth and reopens the screen. And then it doesn't happen. All right.
The game thinks I've already watched it because I've already triggered the event, so it just skips the event.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna go now to the first menu or first shop. It's pretty simple. We're gonna sell everything and buy a bunch of grenades. As usual.
This is already something very unique to PC category. You always have to go through the event with, like going into the bar with Tifa. But in this category, we have to basically go for the shop and sell everything and buy some grenades right away. Grenades are the strongest damage source in Midgar.
Now we're gonna go meet Aerith, right?
Yeah. And now we have pretty much one of the biggest skills that have been found recently. So these two guards are basically there to protect you from, prevent you. Wow, that was really good. Very nicely done. Very fast guard skip, very nice. Okay, so
thank you.
Normally you would have to go through 7-7, through Reactor 5, through everything. And this is the playground scene where Cloud and Aerith have the date, right? And we basically skip to that because they're connected through a screen transition. And the guards, the two great guards we had there, are supposed to block you from going through that. And we are able, with specific pixel-precise movement, we're able to just go through them. And, go right.
Yeah, that's it. We skip the second reactor with Airbuster.
It's like, I don't know, 20-minute skip. We skip so much with that. Go straight to Walmart. Okay, right now in Walmart, we just have to go, we just have to get Cloud to like,
look very beautiful.
Yeah, you have to be able to get like the. Don't continue to choose Cloud because it's faster. And I think while we're doing that, I think we have more time for donations if there's something.
Yeah, this is a pretty boring side quest.
So there's a lot of nothing here right now.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll just read till you tell me to shut up. We've got an interesting trend happening in the donations right now. We've got $50 from Alfeed that says, hoping we can take Red 13 all the way to Flavortown and name him Guy Fieri. Spicy cat named after a spicy boy. And in the same line, we've got $100 from Anonymous. It says, Final Fantasy VII is one of my favorite games and one of the first games my fiance and I bonded over. Thank you for running this, Domace. And we've got, this is the one. Chef Mickey gives $20 and says, I convinced my wife to name our new dog whatever we name Red 13. Got to make sure Guy Fieri wins it. And they're referencing, there is a bid war for naming Red 13 that will be cut off at about the hour mark. So if you have a name that you're particularly passionate for, or if you want to go to Flavortown yourself, go ahead and donate to those.
I'm just going to mention real quick that I did a safety save there because I'm going to be doing a strat that can soft lock my game. So just to be sure, I'll have a backup save. Now we're going to eat some barbecue because barbecue is good. And you can continue with donations because there's also more
barbecue, more
here.
Guy Fieri, I guess. We got $500 from Jeremy Baramy. Thank you very much for that. We've got $25 from Bernie. Says Final Fantasy VII on GDQ. Oh man, I'm gonna have to level up my hype materia and start casting some hype ga.
All right.
That's pretty good.
What a spell. We've got $35 from Pretzel Bread. It says, hey GDQ, here's the equivalent of 5 $7 donations or 7 $5 donations. Had to donate for Final Fantasy VII, my favorite game. Thank you so much to all the runners and staff for all that you do. Thank you so much. Reminder, if you're getting donations in, make sure you're putting them towards those incentives that are unmet, like beating Sephiroth with Braver instead of Omni Slash, or unlocking the next bonus game, which is a blindfolded Mario 64 16-star run. On that note, we've got $25 from Kaki. It says Mario 64 blindfolded. I need to see it to believe it. Me too. I watched the VODs and I still don't understand. How do you do it? Beardy Dave gives $100, says, so happy to donate during one of my favorite games, Final Fantasy VII. Excited to see Super Mario 64 blindfolded. Go fast, Domace.
Thank you. I'll try my best. So now I'm going to be doing the bar skip. I'm going to be pretty much doing the same thing as Jesse skip. I'm going to be triggering 2 events at the same time and completing them so I don't have to watch both.
So here it's not the same principle quite as on Jessica. Here it's not proximity, it's just we trigger a dialog box and it just stays open. And then, yeah, that allows you. So normally what he would do is he would talk to the guy who owns the clothing shop and he would go over all the text. And when he leaves the dialog box open before he talks to him, then he can move while that dialogue happens. So basically what he does is, what he just tries to do is making the 2 dialogues that he has to do on the screen, the guy with the talk with the guy who has the clothing shop and that interesting person on the toilet, very nicely done.
Thank you.
At the same time, you just intervene the text boxes because you're able to move up and down while you're doing it. And the reason why you saved before it is because when you mess that up, then it will happen that the moment where Ares tries to join Cloud, like, you know, this moment whenever the party gathers, everyone moves into Cloud. You know, they all move just inside of him whenever, like, dialogue is over. And when you do that, when you trigger that, when Cloud is in a position where Ares can reach him, she will keep running to the table. It's gonna be like...
And soft lock my game.
Yeah, he's gonna run, and you can't do anything, you know, and you have to wait, and
now I want to invite everyone to join me if you guys want to exercise a little bit. We're gonna do some squats. So this is like a classic minigame. Yeah. We actually have to win this, so it's not a hard minigame at all.
It can be hard. There's like one of the 256 RNGs that are possible for this actually let him do 20 squats. But on PC version, I think you get 21 pretty easily. So, like if you get a draw, you also
you can pretty much buffer. You also fail. That's true. He's doing pretty okay. I was gonna say he's going in right now, but you got it. It's very hard to fail this unless you mess up yourself. So overall, it's pretty okay. Nice little exercise. But yeah, you can pretty much buffer the inputs as the animation is going. It's just square, X, and circle. It's not very precise at all.
Yeah, it's just like on PC you get 21 pretty free. On console, 21 requires like precise inputs.
Yeah.
And like on console, I mean, it still doesn't matter normally. But like if he does 20, then that's like the one RNG where it gets pretty trolled. Because if it's a draw, then you rip here.
Yeah, you got the
Runs
wrong
over.
wig, and then Don Corneo will not choose you, and then
Yeah, if
you
Don
have to go
Corneo doesn't
through
choose you, have to
your
go through the
battles.
extra screen where you have to fight Don Corneo's lackeys, and you have to go like it costs like 2 minutes or something if you don't get chosen.
And possibly some grenades. I don't know if you can just bolt them.
You can actually beat the first 2 lackeys with physical, and you have to beat the last one, the braver. You can get through there without using grenades, but yeah, it's very time intensive.
It's a big time loss.
Like,
I think I got everything now. Like,
yeah,
I didn't think I forgot anything.
Yeah, no, you didn't forget anything. Don't worry. You can
okay,
continue.
just
Well, what do we do with apps?
Just making
Right?
sure.
Like, I mean, when you
yeah, I'm thinking about it.
Like,
I think I'm just gonna do the regular setup. If it works, it does. If it doesn't,
Okay, but-
it's fine.
do you know how to do the fight like without the preemptive, the 10 grenade spread?
I think so. I trust myself. Don't worry.
Okay, yeah, we
I
have to
might
probably
stick
like.
both in there.
It's gonna be hard to actually get through with the right amount of grenades. We have to take every grenade back up that is possible, I guess, right now.
Okay, I'm happy I went up that stair pretty quickly. Like going up those stairs is kind of hard.
Do you normally pick up the high potion in Train Graveyard? Like the second one?
Yes.
That's out of the way. You know where you go right. Okay, and do you pick up the stuff that is in Air South on the second floor?
Yes. I'm gonna pick up everything.
If you pick up all of that, then we're good because then you have a lot of.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Okay, then don't
it's
worry.
fine.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to make sure that we're not dying here to a lack of grenades, and it's pretty embarrassing.
No, it's fine.
I just
I've been in worse situations and I've managed.
because it's
We
pretty
always
bad to not
we
get
always
the
have an
preemptive.
elixir if anything goes wrong.
Okay, all good.
Yeah, this is also a good place for donations because we have
True.
a bunch of dialogue here.
Sure. I've got $20 from Nemesis4909. They say, delighted to donate some money during such an amazing event. Good luck on the run and gold saucer tissues. Oh, good luck on the run and gold saucer tissues at the ready for the big Eris/Aerith moment. Keep being awesome and let's summon the Knights of the Round to beat that pesky cancer. Thank you so much, Nemesis. And hey, chat, if you have a preference on Eris versus Aerith, go ahead and donate and let me know. Maybe I'll take a little informal poll and see which we all prefer. I've got $25.
I lock my vote on Aerith. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I've got $25 from the Beverly Man that says, let's load in the Guy Fieri materia. Oh boy, what does that level up to? Soapbox Gamer gives $50, says, this Final Fantasy VII remake looks strange. Not being able to name the main character definitely looks like an issue. And Caves of Narsh gives $77.77. Says the Caves of Narsh community loves Final Fantasy speedruns. Thank you for playing Final Fantasy VII this year, and go for that braver finish. I am watching those numbers creep up on the braver. We're at just under 9,000 away from finishing Sephiroth with braver instead of the traditional Omni Slash. And the Mario 64 run, we're up to almost $64,000. So keep on donating, chat. You're all so wonderful, and your generosity means so much.
At this point, I find it very important to mention Scotch's shoes in the upper right corner. I think those shoes are very worth mentioning.
Definitely. I never paid attention to that, to be honest. So thank you for that.
They make about half the size of the entire character, actually, in the 3D model.
I was actually gonna thank the Caves of Narsh community because they've helped me a lot on my casual adventures.
I normally would be talking about
appreciate that.
Astronauts right now, but since we're not getting it, I don't know what to say right now.
Okay, let's see. So we have a little bit more dialogue here. Don Corneo is actually gonna do a impressive trap to send us to the sewers. Like no one would see it coming. And then we have a little bit of Shinra section that I always forget about. I'm like getting ready to do the movement, and then there's a small anticlimactic Shinra section. And then I'm gonna be finishing up the reactor movement. So basically all the way from the reactor until now, there were no hostile screens. So my step count was the same, remained the same. So if I do my movement correctly, and if I didn't mess up too much on the reactor, I should get a preemptive apps encounter, and then I can do the back attack, extra damage and stuff.
Yeah, we got like unfortunately like one step ID behind, so it might not work. So it's
yeah,
but it's okay. It happens. By the way,
it's not the worst thing.
Mr. Spectre, actually so far we only had 5 encounters. We actually so far had only 3 encounters. Reactor 1 had 3 encounters, and we skipped all encounters, so we had 3 actual fights until now. The rest
and
was...
we had a pretty quick escape as well. It was not a bad reactor.
Like, step count encounters are up till now are like 3 actual fights only.
Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna focus real quick to the correct movement that I'm used to.
Yeah, we're just gonna do the movement that would actually give the preemptive, and maybe somehow it still works. But since we got a step behind, it might not work.
I could try talking to Edit a little bit from like a little bit earlier, but I don't know.
Don't just do the same setup. The only way this is gonna work if you do the same setup. If you improvise, it's probably definitely not working. Just let's see if it happens.
Okay, so I did the movement correctly, so I should get the preemptive encounter. If that step didn't
yeah, it looked like a full step, so
matter. Oh, close. Okay, it's unfortunate.
Yeah,
it's fine.
So the thing with the preemptives is that most bosses have, as I explained earlier, the movement in this game that is responsible for what normal encounters you get is also working for boss fights. And so basically, when the game gives you preemptive escapes, it's only tied to what step you get the fight on. Basically, the game constantly counts up how many steps you have moved in hostile screen. And on some of the screens, on some of the steps, it basically it gives you a preemptive chance. So we call that the preemptive flag. So if you get a fight on that step that is flagged as preemptive, then the fight is a preemptive. And it's possible, if you manipulate your movement perfectly, that you enter a boss fight just with that flag active, and then even the boss is a preemptive. It works on like 4 bosses in the game, Apps and some of the Turks fights, and on Genova Birth. But unfortunately right now it didn't work.
A little bit of DLC content.
We were like
here.
1 step behind, so it didn't actually happen, so we have to do like a little bit of a backup and do like a little bit of longer fight. It requires very precise movement to get it, so it's kind of hard. Like, I mean, it's GQ, we have 1 shot only. Sometimes it happens. You make like one slide. You have to basically move 10 minutes off reactor. You have to move perfectly, or it doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, it was unfortunately 1 misstep there. That
it was like 1 misstep, and that gives you a little bit of an idea of how it is to run FF7. You have basically you do 1 misstep, 1 movement with the cloud figure goes in the wrong direction or something. 1 small mistake, and a major strat that is very important for the run is not working anymore. And then you have to start doing backups that cost you time and resources. So you have to already work with backups right now because we didn't get it.
Yeah, but it's fine. For this run, it doesn't matter very much. The longer run on the PSX is much more punishing in that regard.
That's true. Yeah.
Because you have 7.5 hours of step count. So it's much scarier to mess up early on.
Yeah.
For PC, it's alright. If I get an extra encounter or 2, it's not a big a deal.
So 1 last note on step count. So as I said, the way that we make use of the fact that we know that everything we do is movement-based is that we just walk, or we force fight in specific places. And the last place actually in the PC run where we would do that would have been as preemptive. After this now, the entire step count is just move good. Just move good.
Yeah, pretty much.
There is no more manipulation. So from here, there is no more walking or forcing fights in places to manipulate stuff. Right. So from here, it's just about moving well. And
maybe I should have tried that.
Yeah. So I mean, of course, you always lose time if you don't move perfectly. But the main difference...
I did skip the encounter. Oh my god. Okay.
This is a very good skip.
That was very interesting.
Okay.
So basically,
yeah,
that's the second skip we can do on encounters. But I usually don't go for it.
Yeah.
because
There's just a lot of complicated movement in between apps and this.
yeah,
It's just
like my movement
Yeah.
would change the position a lot,
Yeah,
and I actually hit it by accident. Like I just opened my menu to try, and I actually hit the skip.
You
That's
skipped this on
crazy.
accident. Yeah, nice. Okay. So remember on the start
That's
of the run,
amazing.
we said like if you open the menu on the exact same frame where you get a fight, you can skip it. And the thing is, in the very beginning of the game, we know exactly on what pixel the fight will be, so it's very easy to
Yeah.
do that, right? But right here in this place, it's very complicated movement. So normally we have no clue where the fight is gonna be. And he just basically randomly opened the menu and we just skipped it. Okay, take it.
I was gonna try
We
it 2
take
times,
those.
and then I realized like, maybe I shouldn't like spend time opening the menu. I probably miss it. And then the menu I opened was the frame I was gonna get the encounter. That
Very
is
nice.
amazing.
Yeah, that's just like a casual 20-second time save. Let's go.
Yeah,
Pretty nice.
pretty much.
I think we just made up for the lack of apps preemptive with that, because apps preemptive actually saves 8 seconds only. It's
Oh, really?
apps
I thought it saved more.
Yeah, really. I mean, of course it saves more because you save grenades. So it
Yeah, I
saves
used
more
a
over the
couple
course of the
limits.
run. But the immediate time save from apps preemptive is actually only 8 seconds. And I think skipping an entire fight with a single menu is more important. I think we're really good. Really good, right?
I'll calculate it. What I have to say, I'll calculate it. Okay, so here's another very annoying. I was gonna mention that like right after we don't have to walk anymore and we have to do precise movement, there are a lot of hard screens. So the train graveyard is a really tough screen to move on correctly. This screen is also pretty tough because that's kind of bad. We need to be close to the rail every time. We need to do very like shortcuts on the turnarounds. So we actually do very precise movements. My stairs are not very good right now, but I'm trying. As long as I don't get an extra encounter here, we're fine. Because the extra encounter will be a back attack. See? Okay, we're good. So if I messed up too much there, I would have another encounter, which is a back attack and takes a while to run, and I take a lot of damage. So it's a pretty annoying one. I also don't think I have a limit break on Cloud right now, so I'm gonna go for a really cool strat.
I just want to share we just passed $65,000 on the way to the Super Mario 64 blindfolded run. So keep it up, chat. You're doing great.
That's awesome. Oh, I did have limits, and my Cloud ATB was pretty bad, so I'm just gonna do the regular fight, which is using 8 grenades. It's not a... Please don't paralyze me? Okay. So this... Oh, he did paralyze me. That's annoying. And he crit me. Okay, so we're fine. If he paralyzes me in pyramids, I think game over, right? Or no?
No. It's still not.
Oh, okay.
Until he gets 3 pyramids, you probably still win the fight.
Okay.
The thing is, like you said, the goal in the fight is basically to save 1 grenade. So you need 8 grenades to win this fight, and 8 grenades bring you pretty close to winning. So you can substitute 1 grenade with just a physical with Cloud, but it does obviously it's not possible when Cloud already has his limit break.
Exactly. And Cloud's ATB was pretty bad there. Usually I like to get the attack early. I could still get it if I didn't have the limit break. It's better to save the limit break for later to save some grenades.
Yeah, it's basically like in Midgar we basically win everything with grenades the entire time.
Yeah, grenades are really powerful in the early on.
Yeah.
Also, we don't we don't need equipment. We don't need. Oh, one thing we didn't mention actually. Okay, 2 things I need to mention right now. First off, if I get a slap skip here, this is the run. So let's see if I actually get a slap skip. This is the most important skip in the game. Let's see. Oh, I didn't. Okay. So there's a glitch that sometimes Tseng will not move at all, and this Aerith will be we get a slap from the air. So it's pretty funny. It doesn't save any time, doesn't lose any time. It's like swag. But the second thing I was gonna mention is that since we never went to 7th Heaven, we never met Tifa, we never unlocked our materia menu. So I actually cannot change materia at all. Like I can't access the menu. So that's why a lot of bosses we used to do are not possible anymore, because we can't equip the poison materia, which was our main source of damage. But we skip those bosses now anyway, so it's fine. Just, I don't think we've ever mentioned that. I don't have the material menu. I don't remember if you mentioned.
Yeah, right. We basically skip the entire dialogue where the materia is even given to you. Because the run is actually so short that we don't even need to ever use materia.
We only use bolt from clown, that's it.
That's
and
pretty
grenades.
PC exclusive that we can actually skip that. It's like 5 minutes time save over every other category where we basically have to go through the dialogue, so we have the materia menu.
Yeah, it's really nice. Saving 5 minutes of dialogue, we don't have to mash, so the run is much short. Like
I think
quicker
actually we have
and
quite a
close
bit
to
of time
action.
right now for like donations and stuff. I think there's
Oh, yeah, for
basically
sure.
just
That's great because I
easily
have a
5-6
whole
minutes
boatload.
of nothing right now.
Yeah.
Okay, that's,
Okay.
that's
Go ahead,
perfect.
take it away.
Right now, okay, then go for it.
All right, well, chat, you answered my question. I've got $25 from Cassie that says Aerith, always Aerith with a TH. And then, well, this is interesting. We had Sephiroth donate $10. Says Aerith, Eris. Any way you slice it, it hardly matters. Oh, my heart.
Wow.
And we've got some call-outs for you, chat. Here we go. We've got let's donate $1 per squat Domace managed, so $21 for this. Good job, and thanks for reminding me to exercise with Cloud. Now I know Sephiroth is a brave man. Look at what he's done in Soldier. However, I know by the time Cloud arrives at the North Crater, he's braver.
Not bad, not bad.
And I've got $77.77 from Zalbag Belouv. It says that money is for Marlene's schooling. I've got $500 from Anonymous that says thanks for all you do. Thank you, Anonymous. Appreciate it. This one's a little behind the times, but I love the sentiment. Three Ducks gives $25, says $25 train leaving the station. If you missed it, you can catch the $30 train at 30 minutes into the run. Love the run and the event. Let's get some blindfolded Mario 64. Basically, what Three Ducks is saying is donate per minute, the number of minutes. I think we can all do that. And that is a reminder, we are going for that Mario 64. We're at 65,000. We just are very close to $10,000 towards finishing Sephiroth with Braver. Y'all are doing amazing. Got
Gotta
50
say, I really like that hype train. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, you're fine. Yeah, it's very hype in here. I can hardly keep track of all the Final Fantasy VII donations. I've got $50 from Hero and Sheepy. Got to donate during Final Fantasy VII. Let's drop Knights of the Round on Cancer. Yes, let's. $7.77 from Diesel. Amazed to see how far the community has taken this category in the last 6 months. Best of luck for the run. No life 2, please.
Please. Shout out to Diesel.
J2 gives $50. Says, hi all, J2 here. So thrilled to see Final Fantasy VII back in GDQ and that we can see how broken the PC version of this game has become. Good luck to Domace and Mies on the couch, both doing an amazing job. Shoutouts to the entire Final Fantasy Speedruns community. Love you all. And this
Thank
one,
you. Oh.
no, you're fine. This one I relate very closely with. JC Riot gives $250. Says, one of my favorite games from my childhood. I could not get out of Midgar in under 10 hours, and you can finish the game in 2 hours? Donation can go to Runner's Choice.
Yeah, my runner choice is the blindfolded Mario 64. I'm very excited for that.
You want me to keep going?
Yeah, so I was just gonna mention we had another tough screen of movement, and I messed up a little bit, which was not a big deal. But now we have more dialogue. We have like the background of Aerith, and so or Aeris, I don't know. Well, go ahead, keep going. No problem.
On that topic, Timmy gives $99.99, which happens to be the max damage, right? It says in all caps, it's Aeris. I think I'm aggravating some people with this donation battle. I've got $50 from Amaltea. Says, I remember playing the Eidos PC port of Final Fantasy VII with the number pad controls. When do we get a numpad % run of this? Good question. $50 from Miskimo. Says, need that blindfolded Super Mario 64 run. Yes, we do. That's gonna be bananas. We're $9 short of hitting 10K on that Sephiroth incentive. You all are amazing and generous.
Thank you very much for all the donations. So basically, I don't think we need to go too much deep into the story because many people already know the story. Also, if you've never played Final Fantasy VII, we're not gonna be like showing much spoilers here, so I'm not gonna talk about the story too much. Basically, we're just looking at the Aerith's I can't say that. Aerith's past, how her mother met her, and now we're gonna have to go rescue her. Also, I'd like to mention that Aerith never had to buy any shoes. She had the same like size of feet since her childhood, so that's pretty convenient.
Yeah, talking about the story is pretty difficult in this carry, that's for sure.
Yeah, too much happening at the same time. Too many skips. This is part that is very chill.
Like this
I
would
think
be
we
the
can
story
fit
of
in.
Cloud going to, I don't know, work for Avalanche, to then randomly end up on Wall Market and then exit Midgar and don't know where he is.
And suddenly saving the planet. Just like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. You can read a couple more donations.
Yeah,
Sounds
true.
good. $25 from Brian says, about to reach 12 years remission and couldn't think of a better time to donate than during my favorite game. Keep up the awesome work, guys. Thank you, Brian. And what a great reminder that all of this money that we're donating goes to Prevent Cancer Foundation, which is an amazing cause helping people around the world stop cancer before it starts. We've got $250 from Basti. My favorite Final Fantasy, a blindfolded Mario 64 run and helping prevent cancer? Only a $5 donation train could make this any better. Let's do this. Greetings from Germany. Thank you so much.
Grüße zurück aus Deutschland.
Bless you. Sorry. Actually, don't understand.
You mean
anything.
Gesundheit.
Yes. So now we're gonna do another quick shop. I like to imagine this shop in real life. We actually sell a gun on an arm, or a gun to attach an arm. We sell a bunch of potions, and we buy like 40-something grenades. I like to imagine that transaction in real life. So pretty
Yeah,
interesting.
it's basically every interaction with Mika is kind of funny in that sense. We're basically just going there as highly armed. I don't know. Like they have swords, guns, they have materia to cast magic, and actually all we do is like we buy a gigantic bag of grenades with like 60 grenades, and just everyone constantly grabs in the bag of grenades and throws grenades all the time. That's like the only thing we use for combat actually, because the leveling up just takes too long for like proper damage in Mika. So it's better to
and a quick
just
escape.
throw grenades and everything. Oh, that's really nice. Really nice escape there.
Sometimes we can attack with Cloud to buffer escape, so the animation will allow us to escape. But I've wasted my limit break a couple times forgetting that I had it, and just like used Braver in the madhouse for no reason. So it's not a good idea. Is it okay if Tifa dies? I guess it's okay, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay. I could sleep at the inn there just to make sure, but I guess it doesn't really matter.
No, you don't have to worry. Like,
So-
the only... Look, I mean,
Sorry, go ahead.
if she dies... if you use Red 13... If you just mash on the dialogue before Red 13, I mean, before Specimen, so that you fight with Barret in Red 13, doesn't matter if she dies.
Fair.
Okay, so what we're doing right now is... So, in the beginning of the run, what I explained was that in order to have, like... good escapes, we use ADB active because basically when you try to run away from a fight, the RNG that controls whether you're able to run away or not is like a timer-based RNG that constantly rolls and gives you a chance every other frame to run away. And basically that only works while the ADB is running. And on active, the ADB always runs. If you put it to wait, the ADB blocks during animations or while you're in menus. And we have upcoming some fights where ATB wait saves us time because we can run away, we have to win a fight, and we fight multiple enemies. And we can use basically something that we call ATB wait tricking. which means that basically just what we do is that ADB weight tracking has a lot of applications and different definitions. Basically, it just means that we make use of the ADB weight function so that we block the ADB and we block the game while we select our stuff as efficiently as possible so that enemies don't get more and more turns. So it's not like, hey, I'm going to select the next turn with the next character, and while I select that, every enemy gets their ADB back up and they keep doing attacks. Basically, ADB weight is just there so we can select every selection, you know, turn by turn. And we keep like this thing of break.
Nobody saw that?
Yeah.
Yeah, basically what we do is just
three attacks for us, three for them.
Yeah, we open a menu, and then I didn't mean to mash too much. Sorry, I was explaining. So here I just have to press in the correct time, but I mashed the text box too much.
So like slight audio cue to it. Like
Yeah.
when the thing goes like wink, then you can press, and then you can.
Yeah,
press.
pretty much. When you hear the range, the noise.
It's like one of the smaller things. It's not the worst thing if you don't hit that for like 5 seconds, I think only.
Not a big deal. Also, there's no step count here, so we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. So this is one of the things. So basically, movement only matters in the hostile screens. So it only matters in screens where it's possible to get a fight. It doesn't matter at all if the screen does not have fights. I think that if the stairs upcoming right now were actually hostile, I think this run would be like really, really different.
This run would be impossible.
It would be pretty impossible, yeah.
Something I forgot to mention. Back when I was in Walmart, I bought some batteries, and those are required to proceed. I know every single Final Fantasy VII runner forgot batteries once in their lives. I'm pretty sure. Maybe Mies haven't.
No, I have actually done that
Okay,
quite.
thank you.
Even recently, not
Everyone-
only in the
everyone
beginning, I
forgets.
actually did that quite recently. It happens.
Yeah.
You just don't.
It loses like a minute depending on where you realize you forgot.
I mean, you reset. That happens. Unless you're on
Yeah,
GTQ, then you have no choice. You have to.
Yeah, but I only I missed it once, and then I always remember now from that time
So
loss.
I think. Okay, so this place is basically it's a non-hostile screen. It's a 9 screen of the same thing. I think
it is
we
actually
can,
58 floors, right?
Yeah, it is actually precise. It's quite interesting. So every time you go up 2 sets of stairs, it's like 1 floor. So we go up to floor 58, and it actually fits in floors. Like the amount of steps that you go up is technically fitting with the amount of steps that you would go up. But I think also
We
like
actually
we have like
spend 5 minutes here.
yeah we have like 3-4 minutes of like nothing. So I guess we can read some donations if there are any.
All right, I'm happy to. We've got a bunch of trains rolling right now. Shinra Manager gives $5, says, I hope Avalanche isn't on this $5 donation train. Midane gives $100, says, there ain't no getting off of this train we're on. And Shy Mothra gives $40, says, I missed the train, but I caught the $40 one. GDQ has meant so much to me, my dad having passed away from cancer a few years ago. Thank you guys so much. You guys are amazing. Donation also goes towards Blindfold Mario 64. I've also got some angry people. Rebecca gives $10, says, it's Aerith. You wouldn't call Sephiroth Sephiroth, would you? It's a great point. It's a great point. And I've got $25 from Tiorin GT. Says, I love Final Fantasy VII. And of course, it's Aerith. I have to see this blindfolded run. So come on, guys. Let's go. Oh, and here's $5 from Kryler. Says $5 so Aerith can get some new shoes, even if she doesn't need them. And Spooky Jonathan gives $20. Always have to donate during a Final Fantasy run. Here's to ending Sephiroth the right way. I assume he means with Braver. And on that note, we're at almost 1,100 towards the 17,777. That is going real quick. And we're at 68.6K towards Mario 64. That's flying up there too. So before the run, I wrote a little poem in hopes of getting a little poetry hype train going for this Mario run. So I'm gonna read it now. Please be gentle on me. It goes, there once was a runner named Bubzia who ran blindfolded 16-star Maria. It's just 250K. We're 190 away. Keep donating is the idea. I don't know. I think it's all right. If you want to do better than me, make sure you get a donation in with a limerick, a haiku, anything you got to one-up me there.
I would clap if I had my hands available.
Oh,
I promise.
Yep.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Super Saiyan 2 Gohan85 gives $25. Says, does Domes mind showing us how to resurrect Aerith? A big thank you to everyone that's made AGDQ 2021 possible to raise money for such a noble cause.
Small side
I
note.
could technically fight Sephiroth.
If you wanted, in this
with
version, we actually could play with Aerith. We could actually, if you wanted to.
Yeah, we could finish Sephiroth with like not the final
Maybe
one.
we should
but
have prepared that
less
actually, like
boss.
final boss with Aerith. We would actually be able
Yeah,
to.
that.
Especially with like the
I think that would be cool.
9,999 damage rolls, then the boss is like 5 HP left, and Aerith can take it with like a 6 damage punch.
Like just one.
Cling!
Just one cling.
We should have prepared that actually.
That would be pretty awesome. Not gonna lie. I just want to say before we go to the next boss fight here, not really a boss fight, but we skipped the naming for Aerith, and it actually says Aerith. So I'll leave that up in the air.
Yep, TH is actually fact from official side. Okay, so
Yeah.
this is the first fight where actually ADB weight is important, because basically when ADB would have been on active, constantly the enemy would get ADBs opening up while everything happens. On wait, only the time where nothing is happening, the ADB is rolling. And these enemies have a special mechanic that when you break the armor with the first move, their ADB resets. So you're able to actually get through this fight, basically reducing the amount of attacks that they do by a lot. Because every time you break their armor, their ATB goes to 0, and then you can just kill them, you know? Before they do more moves.
Yeah, that was pretty smooth. That was not bad. Unfortunately, both got an attack.
Yeah.
Usually we would like to have only one attack,
Yeah.
but that's fine. Okay, now I'm gonna ask for a little bit of silence because it's one of the most punishing parts of the run. So I just need to concentrate a little bit.
Yeah, you have it, don't worry.
It's not a skip, but it's
It's
the
just a
hard
hide and seek
execution
game,
part.
you know, where you have to go past the guards. And we try to do it as fast as possible.
Yeah. We actually have a quick cycle, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. We have like a certain cycle and we try to basically go through it as fast as possible.
Mm-hmm. And now I'm gonna look to the guards on the right. I'm gonna be a bit safe here, just to finish it off.
That's actually not even time loss.
This one, I think it is. Just a little bit, just like maybe one input or something. Not a bad.
Yeah,
we
it's-
got it.
it's
That's the
really-
important part. So the fast cycle is with Tifa. Basically, we look at the right guards, and then when they turn around, we mash circle. Oh, I chose the wrong option. Not bad. This very convenient guy gives us the next key card. Yeah, and I'm not gonna do the ATB weight thingy. I'm not gonna do the IGT manip. I'm just gonna go YOLO here.
Yeah. Okay. I thought we would check the shell. Okay.
No, I'm just gonna go for the options.
Yeah, okay. I mean, so this part is like there are 4 options for the password to be
Oh.
right. And
It's unfortunate.
you can check the menu and try to just like check from the in-game time what it is, theoretically. But of course, it's faster to just YOLO it and it's not really time loss if
Yeah.
you don't get it. It's like, it's only 4 options. It's like a small dialogue. You can just basically secure it. It's more important to secure that you get it on the first one if you do a full run, like not PC. And in PC, this is like a short run. On full run, then it matters for the menus and for like element interior. But we
Yeah,
don't
if you
need
really
element
need
material.
element materia.
Yeah, we don't need element materia here in this, so we can just basically YOLO it.
Yeah, usually we'd open the menu and check IGT and then use since we've already in the menu, we're gonna change the A to B to active. So you can get like a better escapes on these couple encounters here. But it's not not worth to open the menu just for that. So if I'm not doing the IGT manip, it's not really worth it.
Okay, so people are asking in the chat about Mako. So this is like a PAL version thing. It says the password is always Mako in versions that are not US NTSCU American. PAL English, yeah, those two versions don't have Mako. And every other version always has Mako. Oh, Japanese also doesn't have Mako default. So it's like PAL versions that are not English. I don't have a proof for it, but my theory on why they made it, that European releases of FF7 that are not English don't have Mako, is because every word in that is possible password in the minigame is like an English word. So it's like king, bomb. What's the other one? It's like best, king, or bomb, right? Are the other three.
Yeah,
King, best, or bomb are all three English words. So maybe they thought that people that aren't like natively English speakers are confused with those terms for whatever reason. And Mako, however, is a term that is consistent in every version of the game, right? In every language, you always use Mako. So in PAL English, it's still like random. And in every other PAL version, it's always Mako. Because they thought that we are too bad at English to figure out that there could be other words. And then we don't understand what best, king, or bomb is supposed to mean. So I think they made it that only in the non-English speaking European versions of FF7 it's always Mako. And in other versions it's random. It's a 1 out of 4.
I just want to pop in
Those
real
guys
quick and say
really-
we're at 70,000 towards Super Mario 64. That is awesome. We are just flying up there.
Nice. That's awesome. I was just gonna say they really wanted to kill Tifa there. They wouldn't let me escape otherwise. I should have made an incentive for me to flush the toilet here, but okay. So right now is a good place to close the red incentive. So to close that out, because we're gonna be renaming red very soon.
Okay.
Oh yeah, right.
I'll get a final count when you're ready.
Yeah, we have like maybe 3 minutes maybe at best until red is gonna be renamed. So not more than that.
Mm-hmm.
We go like up
Yeah, I need to
for some
remember to not
dialogue
just-
and then a red 13 is gonna get the rename.
Mm-hmm. It's unfortunate we don't name like anyone else in this category anymore. We used to name like Cloud Barret, Tifa, and Red, and then Seed. We used to name Seed as well on the old versions, old routes.
Right, because we actually needed to go through Palmer. Right.
We needed to go through Palmer and Rocket Town.
Yeah.
It was a much longer run. We actually used like the boat, the tiny Bronco. So we don't do pretty much anything of that anymore.
Yeah, this actually kind of evolved into like a Midgar% game.
Yeah, this is
It's kind
literally
of like
Final Fantasy
Midgar%,
remake.
like a Midgar% into some warps and other weird stuff, and that's pretty much it.
If you're interested in running the Final Fantasy VII remake, this is pretty much the same thing. Just Midgar.
Wait. Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
So right here, there's a woman that can block my path. That lady in
Random NPC.
green. Yeah. She can go up and block my path, but I think my movement was okay. Not sure. No, it's just fine. Just going left. If you have like bad movement and she goes up, she can block you a little bit.
And when you come out of the toilet,
Just
you need like
closer.
you need not get stuck anywhere, or she can
Yeah.
block you. Pretty.
You have to do a little diagonal there. So Hojo is a very nice guy. He leaves every open door behind him, like never closed door. So we get to just follow him freely. This is one of my favorite parts of plot devices, especially this cover right here. Like this is one of the best covers I've ever seen in a video game. Right there. He's totally undercover.
Yeah, he's actually on the wrong side of the box to be hidden, right?
Yeah, I know, right?
I never actually questioned that. I guess, yeah. I guess I played
Like,
Metal Gear
he's
Solid
literally
1.
looking at how.
And I grew up with like Metal Gear Solid 1 guards and their intelligence, and so I thought that this is how people don't spot you in general.
Yeah, fair. So I guess we have some time for more donations a little bit.
Yeah, you got it. We got more trains to talk about. Luminous gives $5, says $5 train. Choo choo. I've got, here's my donation, and $50 from Schmango Fett. Says, here's my donation for the time donation train. Here's to my favorite game I've never played but love to watch. It's always Aerith. And I've got $25 from Lil Leah. Says, here's to covering 4 other people for that $5 train. Thank you so much. And Stubby with $5 says train. Someone said train. And I've got, oh, well, looks like we're about to settle it here. Aerith donates $77 and says, hello, it's me, Aerith. I'm reaching out to you from the live stream. Look, it's a translation consistency thing. So either it's Aerith and Sephiroth or Aerith and Sephiroth. I think we can all agree that Aerith and Sephiroth is much better. So my name is based on the word Earth, which ends in TH. There's a reason it has been fixed and consistently spelled Aerith in all subsequent games. All right, we'll close it down. We got to figure it out. Aerith herself has donated and let us know.
I mean, the name skip proves already, right? Skip Aerith's naming, and then she's called Aerith, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the only reason why she used to be called Aerith with S at the end is because this Japanese name is Iarisu, and that ends with SU. And it's in an English translation, it would make more sense to put with an S. Like when it translates to something that means Earth, that's true, but the way that the Japanese pronounce her name does not sound like a TH. They don't say Aerith, they say Iarisu. And that's like an S.
Oh, I see.
So yeah, we win regardless. Sorry, guys.
That's a lot of evidence for Aerith.
Yep.
Yeah, it's too
that's
much evidence. Sorry.
perfect evidence. Go on Wiki and check it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna need the name for Rad.
Yeah, right. We
very
need the
soon.
name. Right.
Okay, I've got it ready. Whenever you want it, just let me know.
I guess it's a couple seconds from now, so you can tell me.
All right, the winner, coming straight to you from Flavortown, is Guy Fieri. It's capital G-U-Y, capital F-I-E-R-I.
G-U. Sorry, go again.
G-U-Y, capital
Y?
F-I-E-R-I.
Capital F?
F as in Frank,
Okay.
lowercase
What else? Sorry.
I-E-R-I.
I-E-R-I. Like this? Oh, I put...
No H, but yes. There.
Yeah, the
There's
H was
Flavortown himself.
The H was actually a double input that we mentioned early on. Like I pressed circle and then right, and then it actually used the H.
On that line, by the way, we are only $6,000 away from the Sephiroth incentive, and we jumped all the way up to 73.3 thousand for the Mario 64. Yes, feels good. Chat.
It was very nice. So we're gonna be doing another ATB weight trick here. I'm gonna be using... Oh, sorry, my input didn't go through. The menus at 15 FPS on battles are a little bit wonky. Sometimes you press the button and it doesn't register at all. It's a little bit annoying.
Yeah, so it goes back to what we said in the beginning. So this game is like a derivative of a PlayStation 1 game, and PlayStation 1 is capable of showing multiple frame rates in the same screen. So basically most of the animations in battle are 15 FPS. However, for the battle menus, PlayStation 1 was able to keep one thing at 15 and one at 60 FPS. But on PC that was not really possible. It was, by the way, actually a pretty nice fight regardless. You had very few enemy turns.
Yeah,
it was pretty cool.
Pretty okay.
And yeah, it's pretty hard on PC version to maintain this feature of like dynamic frame rates. So basically on PC, they just made everything 15 FPS, which means that your commands for like navigating through the battle commands is only 15 FPS, which is pretty bad actually. It feels really, really weird. 15 FPS is not a lot, and it's like you press up and then it eats the input, nothing happens. or you press up and circle and it takes like 2 at the same time. It's like, it feels really heavy and it's not very good on execution.
Yeah, for a casual perspective, this game is perfect pretty much. Like there's no problems playing this game casually. But from a speedrun perspective, it's a little clunky.
Yeah.
Oh. Especially because if we combine the fact that it's 15 FPS with the double input problem that we have, we need to be very careful when selecting our moves.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can end up using an item. I've used countless adders before.
Yeah,
and
it's
that,
kind of like you have
money.
to. So the way that we used to treat inputs on PC is like you have to treat it like a hot potato, because basically what PC version doesn't do on inputs in this kind of situation, it doesn't do flush keys. So basically, it completely has frame-based input readings. So basically, when you press circle down, or like down circle. Let's say you want to go down to material menu and press circle to confirm it, right? So that's down circle. On PSX version Plus, you just press down circle as fast as you can. Then you go down with the cursor and press circle on materia. On PC version, everything is frame-based. So it reads on one frame, reads down, and the next frame reads down plus circle. And then it triggers down on one frame and down circle on the other, which actually means that you get down, down circle. And that's why people don't like how the inputs are on PC version. You know, it feels very, very hard to control because there are no flush keys. On PC version, basically, the entire time, whenever you press something, it constantly travels, it constantly keeps like the inputs that you have from the last frames. So whenever you change input, you always have to release. So the best way you do it is like, you only touch your controller with like a 5-foot pole, you know? You press down and you always have to release it before you press any other button. Whenever you have two buttons pressed at the same time, it keeps firing the first button you press constantly on every frame. And that makes it pretty hard to control in this version.
Me and Miz were actually talking about it before the run, and we actually can use that to our advantage. So, for example, if I open the menu and I want to go to materia, I can just do down circle really fast, and then it's going to go down circle into materia, skipping the magic if I'm not mistaken. Also, if I want to save the game, I can press triangle to open the menu, and then up circle, it's going to go to exit, then up circle again, so it's going to go to save. Yeah. However, other than that, like using the regular menus we need to do, doing them as fast as PSX is just not humanly possible, because we have to do really fast inputs and release just as fast, or if not faster. So it's not really viable,
so
but
so on a
realistic.
technical level, theoretically, like if it was possible, like a task, like a tool-assist speedrun of a PC version, it would theoretically be possible to even menu faster than on PSX. But the thing is that just inputting a button in menu for exactly one frame, which means press it and release the button for length of one frame, is humanly very, very let's just say it's impossible. At least if you want to do it really quickly, and that's why menus on PC version are really, really difficult to do.
Technically, like if you can still do them pretty fast if you get used to it, and also the PC version runs faster than PSX overall. So it is on quote unquote it is better, but it is also more frustrating and less interesting.
On PSX it's much easier because I mean I think this is like, in my opinion, it's like a basic programmer flaw. Every game has like a certain type of like, I don't know, some sort of flush keys in the menu. So you press down circle and then you get down and then circle. You don't get down, down circle because you're still holding down, you know? It's kind of crazy that you always have to release the button before you press the next button, or it's gonna just still keep getting considered. It's kind of weird input programming that the PC version has. I think it's like
I also want to say that this version is awesome. I don't want to like stop any of you guys to trying it, because this version and this run are actually a lot of fun. It's just a small issue we have to work around pretty much. Like it's not an awful version to run on. It's just not as good as PSX pretty much.
I mean, it's actually pretty superior because we can win in 2 hours, right?
Yeah, that too.
That's the thing. So there are derivatives of the Steam version. There are basically two different versions of the game: console version, PC version. And there are a lot of derivatives of the console version, like basically just the ISO over PlayStation 3 or PlayStation TV. And there are a lot of versions of the PC version, Steam version, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch. But none of the versions has the warp glitches. The only version that has the warp glitches is the PC original version that we're playing right now.
Which makes it the superior version.
Yeah, it makes it a pretty short version. It makes it the most messed up version, that's for sure.
Yeah, and that's awesome. Yeah, for the Xbox, PS4, and Switch versions, you have boosters for any percent. So basically, you can activate 3 times speed. You never you always get back to full health. You always have your limit break. So it's like a booster percent pretty much. So to me that's not very interesting. I prefer the warping glitches. And all of those categories, they have the no warp, no slots category of those versions. Sorry. And the no slots version is pretty much similar to the PSX version. It's the full game experience. You play beating the bosses by doing damage. Obviously we do skips and glitches and stuff, but it's the non-broken version of the non-broken category of those versions.
Yeah. So the warps are like the specific thing that this version of the game has, and some people just want to play that version for other reasons, but because of the speed, because of it's easier accessible, because you can just go into Steam and download the game.
Yeah,
and there's then like a category that basically doesn't allow all of what we're doing in this game right now.
Yeah,
and just
pretty much
forces you to play the game properly. Yeah.
So here's a very, very important option I have to select. If I select the first option here, I'll remove my materia and I'll never be able to equip it back, and then the run is just over. So we just leave the materia as it is. That is very, very important. People used to discuss if it's faster to leave or remove the materia. But in this case, since we don't have the menu, we cannot remove it at all. Otherwise, we can't go. We can't beat the final boss, quote unquote.
I just want to jump in real quick and say we've got over $75,000 now towards the Mario 64 bonus game. Keep it going, chat. You're doing amazing.
That's awesome. So for this fight, if you want to explain it, please. It's not very interesting.
Yeah, this fight it's not completely uninteresting. So the basic strat is just throwing grenades, which is the DPS in this fight.
Yeah.
But the thing is that we have a lot of opportunities to save grenades here. So you have to go in, you have to know how many grenades you have, how many you need in mid-card in total. And there are certain ways to just save a grenade. You can use limit breaks. That's one thing. And the other thing that you can do is you can use one physical on the second boss of Barret, because the grenades just kill, I don't know, they do like 990 damage or so, and he has 1000 damage. Sorry, has 1000 health, and then you can use like one physical to like a backup. But mostly this fight does not have anything outside of really holding circle and waiting for the grenades.
It's a pretty auto-scroller battle, pretty much.
Yeah,
not very interesting.
Definitely.
I actually didn't know about the physical with Barret. I'm gonna try that. If I don't get limit.
It works if you do it on the spinning phase, because in the spinning phase he has increased defense and all the damage is nerfed.
Wait, on the non-spinning phase or on the spinning phase?
At the very end on the spinning phase. Okay. Because then he has higher defense, and the grenades do less, and the difference between grenade and physical is less than normal.
No! Okay, he got my limit and he got me a slip, which is not good.
That's the RNG
donations?
Oh, he woke me up. Oh, sure, yeah. We don't have much going on, so you can go ahead.
We got a bunch of people sending in some poetry, so let's go through those. Well, first, before we do that, Hibuki gives $5. Says, if this comment is read by the host, my brother will donate too. Don't let me down, old man foo. And technically that rhymes, so it still is a poem of sorts. Nice. All right, we've got Eris gives $10. Says, an Eris haiku. Flower girl by trade. She's only had a pair of shoes. Eris is the worst. Oof. Too true. And I've got the meme machine now in HD with $10 says, have a limerick. Playing their video games quick. Speedrunners all think they're so slick. And to our delight, those runners are right. So let's all give cancer a kick. That's a good one. And
That's
I've
a
got
good one.
$250 from Konishi. It says, Qua! It's our Kyle Thomas and Domace. Here we go. There once was a Cetra named A. It's Aerith, not Eris, okay? She made flowers bloom in the slums in the gloom. When it's raining, she comes back to play. There we go. Thank you.
Pretty cute. Okay, so for this fight, we actually have much more grenades than I expected. So we're pretty okay on that. Fun fact, my name is actually made up from a corruption of Thomas. So my name is also Thomas. I mentioned that earlier.
Hey, Thomas Brothers.
Yeah. So
Hey,
this
we
fight
just
is
got the demo troll.
not-
Nice.
Wait, sorry?
The demo troll for the dog. This is
Oh, yeah,
not
yeah,
a
for
guaranteed fight. So ever since the guard skip, we killed the dog with a grenade instead of the braver because Cloud is one level less than normal, and the grenade has like a 13% chance to actually not kill the dog. 30% chance.
It wasn't
for-
15% or 30?
Yeah,
30?
13. 13 is rather low.
Oh,
13. It's like 13
13.
point
Okay,
something
okay.
percent. That the grenade does 139 or less damage. And then you have to attack again. And the fight can get pretty annoying because he can also use bolt on you. And Cloud can miss his physical. It can become a disaster. It's better when the
Yes.
grenade does the proper damage roll for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty annoying when that happens. I could maybe make a save there. I'm gonna do some save strats because this next section can go wrong depending. The next boss can throw a little bit. He can do some high damage rolls or crits and end up killing me. But I do have a backup save in case I ever need it. I don't think I will. We're also gonna do a very cool trick in the end of this next motorbike section. That's called Barrett Skip, another very creative name. But like, we're gonna be skipping something with paralysis dodge, and that can also soft lock my game. So that's why I have a backup save in case I need.
Well, our
It's
skip
not
names are
likely
just
to soft lock.
straightforward. We call it by what we skip. It's pretty easy.
Yeah, no, I always joke about that. So we have some nice next gen graphics cutscene here, and we have a really long motorbike section, which is an auto scroller. We don't have much to do on it, so
Yeah,
you can
it's
take
like
it away.
2.5 minutes for more donations. 2.5 minutes of like
2.5 minutes of donations. All right, let's do it. Hover Bantha gives $10, says $10 train for SM64. Sounds like a good train to me. Oh boy. Anonymous gives $5, says, actually, it's Guy Fierith. Oh boy. And then Humphrey, okay, I don't know how to do a great Guy Fieri impression, so I'm just gonna do like a generic thing here. So Humphrey gives $10 and says, hi, I'm Guy Fieri. This week we're visiting the Northern Crater to see if Sephiroth can serve us up some top-notch supernova. Stay tuned and catch it all on this episode of Doggos, Death Warps, and Domace.
I like that.
Thanks.
Let me just mention something real quick.
We've got a anonymous $100 donation with a limerick. There once was an evil Bowser who saw a princess and snagged her. Bubsy went blind and saved her behind to help all of us beat cancer.
Oh, that's really cute.
Yeah,
I just want to mention something real quick. We actually had a really nice marathon-like moment here, or I guess in a good way. There are 3 colors of bikes: the blue, the orange, and the red one. The red one goes away when you attack, so if you get 3 red ones, you can just spam attack and chill. If you get blue or orange bikes, you have to go after them. And we got 3 reds straight away, which usually doesn't happen. So okay,
I want to
can
say
go back to
something on this
donations.
minigame. So basically, the only thing that they have changed in 14 years when they made the first remake of this game, or the first remaster from console to PC, the only thing they changed is they added blue bikes to this minigame, and they made the snowboard jumps higher, and accidentally induced like what is called the warp glitch. But thank you for those DLCs. They're very, very useful and very cool.
Yeah, very, very appreciative.
Like we didn't need an extra dungeon or anything. We needed blue bikers and higher snowboard jumps. That's the only thing.
Oh,
we
that's
were
like
looking
car
for.
gaming
That's
experience.
like that completely changes everything.
Yeah. But yeah, you can go ahead with the donations again.
Yeah, more.
All right. We've got an anonymous donator gives $77.77. The donation reads 7777 at 77 minutes, 77 seconds. Lucky number 7 for that Mario run. Thank you so much. We've got a $100 anonymous donation. Says, gonna need a lot for the SM64 blindfolded run, so I'll do my part. Well, thank you for doing your part, and thank you, chat, for all the parts that you're doing. The Crank Machine gives $50. Says, I really want to meet the Mario 64 incentive, but maybe I have my head in the clouds. But we're so close, I'm seeing red. I'd start a war to get Mario 64 into GDQ, but I'm pretty sure I'd be violating something in the Genova Convention. I love Final Fantasy VII so much. I'll have to donate more puns later. Oh, and Tifa, best girl. That's a contentious topic
I
as
can
well.
agree to that. Yeah, I can agree to that.
It's Jessie, best girl.
Oh my god.
Remake
so-
Jessie.
Okay, so
This fight has
have
a
to-
little bit of a strat to it. The majority of
Yeah,
it is
a little bit.
basically just the same thing we always do, balls and grenades. I think after like 1 hour of Midgar, you figured out that what we're doing is ball against machines that are weak to ball,
Yeah.
and else we throw grenades. The only difference in this one is that Motorball has a very interesting AI, something that I personally actually never investigated, even to the degree that I really understand why it happens. But Motorball actually checks what moves you have buffered. So at the very end of the fight, Motorball does an attack based on whether you have attacks queued up or not, which is why we just don't attack for a certain period of time. So we just wait. I don't really know why that happens. I mostly just checked most of the chances and things in AI scripts, but I never really checked out how and why this one occurs. So I'm sorry that I can't provide more detailed info on this. But fact is that after this roll attack, we don't do anything until he stands up. Because if you have attacks queued up, he will counterattack those attacks preemptively with a twin burner. And if you just wait, then he does nothing. So we wait until he stands up, and then we get the priority over him. That's
I
basically
got
the
really
strat.
nervous there because I queued up the grenade before he stood up, and I thought I messed up.
Yeah. No, that's fine. You can do that way earlier. Basically,
Yeah.
while Tifa's ADB is filling, you can already start doing it. Actually, it's just like a visual safety cue.
Okay.
You just, I
That's
think you
good,
just have
because
to.
if-
I think there's just like one trigger where Motorball is trying to get an attack, and when you don't press something until that trigger, then you're good. After that, you can do what you want. The moment that
Okay.
you can select stuff is way earlier than just this point that we.
Yeah, I thought I selected it way too
No,
early.
yeah,
and then
I know,
it
I know,
would
I know.
probably wipe my part. I wasn't taking
it's-
too much damage anyway.
Luckily, it's not that punishing.
That precise.
Yeah. It just needs you to wait for a second, and then it's good.
Also, if you want to explain what we're doing here real quick, feel free
Yeah,
to.
sure. We have the next paralyzed dodge, something that we talked about earlier. The classic way of skipping things in FF7. Run into a trigger that is caused by proximity, and a dialogue by talking to someone at the same time allows us to completely skip the post-maker dialogue. So we started out with Bear, where he's like, oh, I should be the leader. We should make 2 teams. I should be the leader that leads us out of Midgar and to everything. Like, Barrett wants to be like Thanos here. And no one really agrees. And this takes like, I don't know, 45 seconds or something to finish.
Oh, is it that much?
It's
I wasn't
quite a
aware.
bit. It's at least 30 seconds. That's for sure. It's quite a long text. Like, Barrett really enjoys popping off there. And we can skip the entirety of it by trying to leave, which causes a dialogue from Aerith that says, hey, don't go away just yet, you know? And leaving and talking to Barrett at the same time lets us just move Cloud while he's not supposed to be able to move, and just get out of there.
Yeah, I completely ignore
Yeah.
the whole dialogue, and then we don't have to select our party. We have the same party as before.
We can just leave. Yeah, it's like, I think the last, how many skips would they have in Midgar? 3 or 4 of them? Like basically every
Many what,
skip in
sorry?
this game works more or less with this
Oh, skip.
same mechanic. The mechanic that we
Yeah,
call
they're
paralyzed
pretty
dodge,
close.
that when we trigger proximity and a text box at the same time, that we can move in places where we're not supposed to move. So we're
And then you
supposed to
can break the
paralyze.
game that way.
Right. We're supposed to paralyze.
So-
We can still move, and that's how it works.
Yeah. I was gonna say that I had moved everyone to the front row for the motorball fight because
Safety. Yeah.
since it's a back attack, we are gonna be on the back row then. So if he crits, he wouldn't actually kill me. That was just for safety, so I had to re-put them on the back row again. Here we have the calm flashback, which is a long flashback. It is very unfortunate because on an earlier iteration of a route. Oh, first we have this. Let's see if the dragon is nice to us. Okay, that's not good.
Why? That's
Awesome.
pretty good.
Okay.
Section 1.
So basically, if Sephiroth decides to resurrect Cloud there and use Life Chew, the dragon can attack Cloud again, and that can go on forever. They can keep attacking Cloud and resurrecting Cloud for however much time they want.
Yeah, so Sephiroth in that fight is basically in super god mode. He's not.
Yeah, on, like,
he's
Super
completely
Saiyan mode.
invincible. He takes 0 damage from anything, and he's very fast, and he does 3,000 damage, and the dragon has like 6,000. So Sephiroth always will kill in 2 attacks. The thing is that the dragon,
problem is if he attacks or not.
He can kill. He can kill Cole, but it's still. I mean, it is kind of like that. You need a little bit of luck, but you don't really get stuck there. It's not like you really
No,
get
yeah.
stuck there, you know?
You
It's
don't really
like
get stuck, but it can waste you like a 15
I
to
think
30
that
seconds.
yeah,
maybe.
I think 1 life 2 already costs like 15 seconds, and I think 2 life 2 is already pretty unfortunate because first of all, you basically need the dragon to even attack Cloud, and then you also need that Sephiroth does life 2.
Yeah, the odds are usually in your favor, so it's no problem. But he can throw you if he wants to.
Yeah, theoretically, of course, there is that 1% where, or less, that the dragon just keeps flaming Cloud, and Cloud just keeps getting revived by Sephiroth.
There always is. There's a glitch we could make here, execute here called photo skip, which is another paralysis dodge glitch. But unfortunately, it soft locks the PC version. Only really works on PSX.
Yeah, it's pretty weird actually. So,
Yeah.
in most situations, in field, console version and PC version work similar to each other. There's no differences. So when we can do a skip on the PC version, we can do it on console version, all other versions of the game. But for this skip, there's like, it's unique. So what it does is that you skip this the part that you've seen right now where they take the photo. That's why we call it photo skip. And it also
Another
skips.
creative
Yeah,
name.
yeah, yeah. We are very creative with names. I know. And the end of the photo passage is that Sephiroth gets added to your party. So if you do the photo skip in the following party, you're only Cloud and not Cloud plus Sephiroth, which is actually good.
And
Sephiroth,
scary.
something that is asked in chat right now, Sephiroth cannot run out of MP. He's always doing magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, actually, it's good to not have Sephiroth, because Sephiroth is very fast and he acts without your permission. Especially because we actually want to have either no encounter in the flashback or a preemptive. And Sephiroth will always take the first and kill everyone, which is just very slow. It takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
And
By
that's why
being solo Cloud, we can just
Yeah.
escape.
Yeah. Which is why we actually want to do the photo skip. Both, we want to do it for 2 reasons. First, to just save time, to skip the passage with the photo. And the second, so we're solo Cloud and we can escape easy. In PC version doesn't matter because we don't have an encounter here anyway.
We shouldn't have, but my step count is a bit wonky. I might actually have him.
We don't have
I was gonna do
we don't have an
I was gonna do the Sephiroth skip on the reactor, but I'm afraid to get an encounter there. I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah,
but
problem
yeah,
is
I was
just
gonna mention.
at the very end
Sorry,
of
go
this
ahead.
passage, when we start to enter reactor 5, Nibelheim reactor, sorry. then
Okay, we're good.
if you don't have Sephiroth in the party, in PC version it just crashes. So we can't do photo skip on PC version.
It's really unfortunate.
Yeah, it's one of the things that I actually never understood why it happens. Because normally PC version and PSX version completely trade in field. Like the way field behaves, field skips, everything is perfectly the same. Even the field skips are the same. You have the same visual cues, you know? Like how many fractions you move in one direction. It's pixely, I'm so sorry. It's pixel perfectly precise, you know? Everything is
Pixely
exactly the
perfectly.
same. Yeah, pixel perfect. And
Yeah.
this thing just doesn't align. If Sephiroth isn't there, the
Yeah,
game
this
just
is the only
completely
thing.
locks on PC. You have no chance to do anything. Just crashes.
It's really unfortunate. I was gonna mention we always had to watch this first half of the flashback on a recent iteration of the route that we still use to do the material menu and grab poison to do the material keeper and everything. We actually didn't have to watch the second half of the calm flashback. That, in my opinion, that was the best route ever for this game because it was fun, it was fast, and you didn't have to sit here for so long. But unfortunately for this route in particular, we have to watch the second half of the flashback. It's just longer. There's no real speed text here other than photo skip that we can do. Here I could exit the reactor to make Sephiroth disappear, and he wouldn't be in my way here. But that's not... Since I'm very tight on step count, I would probably get an encounter. Because when we exit the reactor, we actually walk... Like, to be able to re-enter, we have to walk a couple of steps. And I think that would trigger my encounter. So it would just skip this thing, like this small section there. Sephiroth wouldn't be there blocking us, so it's a very, very minor tech. It's not a big deal. And unless you want to say something, Miss, about this part, we can go back to donations here.
There's nothing to say about it here.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, so some quick updates. We're at 13,800 for finishing Sephiroth with Braver, so we're closing in on needing to get that met. So chat, keep it up. You're all beautiful. And we're just shy of 78,000 on the bonus game incentive for Mario 64 Blindfolded. Make sure you get those donations in for those. And then we've got some poetry in here. Let's do it. $25 from Professor Shinobi says, a haiku. Hydration check time. Make sure to drink some water for a better day. Money goes to see Mario 64 so the runner can't while they wear a blindfold. Best of luck to the runners and thank you to everyone who makes this possible. Thank you for your donation. I've got here we go. Captain Impossible gives $25. Says AGDQ asked for a rhyme. So I say it's avalanche time. Let's all make a dono. Sephiroth will say, oh no, missing blind M64 is a crime. I love that one. And then I've just got a little audio file I'm gonna play here real quick. Just 1 second. Guy Fieri here. Did you know if you have Amazon Prime, you have Prime Gaming? You can use your spicy Prime Gaming account to subscribe to GDQ, and their share of the revenue from that supports the #1 charity in Flavortown, Prevent Cancer Foundation. Wow, thank you so much, Guy Fieri, for sending that in. That support means a lot. And yeah, if you've got Prime Gaming, go ahead and use it.
Can we also have some love for that for that impression? That was pretty good.
I don't know what you're talking about. It wasn't an impression. It was a tape of Guy Fieri.
Oh, sorry.
Orion Zal gives $20. Says me and 3 others for the $5 train. Choo choo. Let's get the blindfolded Mario run met. And I've got $200 from the Sound Defense. Says, I believe in the power of donos and Twitch chat. We can make it to that SM64 bonus game. And see, I think this is a personal challenge from DeMullet. DeMullet gives $100 and says, rugby baby buggy bumpers, rugby baby buggy bumpers, rugby baby bumpers. In your face. That last part was me. Mutsky gives $25, says, Domes, my favorite Brazilian FF7 compadre. Good luck on the rest of the run. You're doing the FF community so proud so far. Keep it up. When do you start using Kate Sith, Kappa? Much love
Thank
from
you,
your
Mutzi.
favorite speed mutt, Mutsky.
Thank you very much, man. Shout outs to Mutsky.
Shout out to Matsky,
He's a
slots
really-
runner, very good person.
Yeah, he's also my favorite Brazilian speedrunner. Kappa.
He's,
And we just broke $80,000 for the Super Mario 64 blindfolded run, and we're past 14,000 now. So just a few thousand left for the Sephiroth incentive. Gosh, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much, everybody. Guys, gals, non-binary pals, I love you. Ah!
I guess I should mention, I didn't do a save to save there. I actually need that save for later to abuse a glitch that we do in this version, which basically the glitch that allows us to break the game completely. So that save is actually intended in the route.
yeah, let's say it's like route, part of the route.
Yeah. Gonna be revisiting this,
This is
not for long.
something
don't
I
worry.
talked about in the beginning of the run. So you remember, maybe at the start of the run, I said that we used to have like a 2.5 hour run for this category. So the PC version was already kind of broken like 2 years ago, or longer than that. But right now it's even more broken. And this is the major change. So we used to save in Midgar and we used to save before Calm to do like a certain composure of warp skips, which were pretty complicated to understand and were pretty slow, a lot of time consuming. We need to go through 2 boss fights and we don't do anything of that anymore. Another shout out to Mr. RJ the Destroyer, who single-handedly made this happen. So before RJ joined the community, we still did the 2-hour 30 run. Now we do a 40 minutes fast run just because of the stuff that RJ found. RJ the Destroyer.
He's
You
actually
are
a destroyer of
monster.
categories.
You are insane. You just destroyed this game by 40 minutes actually, and it was already short enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the start of the route changes that he introduced. Very, very cool. We start in the middle. We save in the middle of the flashback because we can basically skip out of the flashback. We can make use
Yeah.
of the location that the flashback puts you to, which is Nibelheim Mountains, which is very, very late in the game actually, or at least it is. It's not that late, but it's at least, I don't know.
It is very
2-3
far ahead
hours.
than
Yeah,
we are
2-3
now.
hours after
Yeah.
Midgar normally, and we can fly
Yeah, for
there,
sure.
and we can start using warp glitches from there. And that skip was a completely new finding by someone who entered the community and just found new things, and it's just so, it impresses me, you know, that you just enter a new game and you find things that are so significant, but still nobody saw them before you did.
Yeah, it is really impressive.
It's amazing
it
how
was-
much
it was a
RJ
really-
made this game faster. It's crazy.
Yeah, it was really fun doing like the ride. When he started finding out the glitches, we had a lot of different iterations for the route. It was getting shorter and shorter, and I wasn't planning on running the game that time, but like I got so excited with the new glitches and I came back to it. But it was so much fun seeing everyone get hyped and trying to like route the game again. And so this is where we are now. We're almost at a sub 150 run in this game, which is insane. Also, Sephiroth just learned how to use fire on the library down there, so he just testing his powers here, real quick.
In my opinion, the material that he shoots there, if you go in story mode, is destruct. I think what he learned is destruct.
Oh, that's fair.
I think that's what he
It
learned
was,
down
it was
there.
all pretty quick anyway. I think he just like snapped his fingers and the town blew up or something. Because it was, we followed him outside of the mansion and it was already on that state. So I'm pretty sure it was like a destruct materials makes sense. Okay, so we're actually going to the end of the cutscene here. Oops, nobody saw that. End of the flashback here. These chains are a little bit tricky. We need to hold down to go to the floor, and hold up as soon as we touch the floor. So I have a nice visual cue for the transition there, but it wasn't very smooth. Now we have a very unfortunate scene with Tifa. So most people know what I'm
This
talking
is
about.
my least favorite scene in FF7 story-wise, because Cloud specifies that the reason why he identifies the sword of Sephiroth in the back of the President Midgar is only Sephiroth can use this sword. What do we see here? Isn't this like a child that is not even educated in fighting using the sword? Like something's happening here that's not quite in line.
A bit retcon, but it's fine. The story still makes sense.
I mean, to be honest, she doesn't really get to use it. She just gets killed. But, you know.
Yeah, it's very interesting because people who know the story know that this flashback is somewhat true. This actually happened. And if you go for all the secrets in this game, you actually find out that it was her sensei that actually healed her. Like, she would be put into a tube with Cloud and other people that I'm not gonna mention, but it's actually her master, her like martial arts master
Sangban?
that finds her and uses a lot of cure until she's back. She's back up. Like, it's fine. It's weird that she doesn't have any scar or anything like that, but I guess that's how it was. I think I find the letters talking about that on her piano.
There is a lot of like side content about the canon of this game inside the game, and like dialogues that you actually don't really. Some of the stuff is pretty weird.
Yes, I think there's a lot of things in this game that are kind of required for the story, and they are side content.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
very important and it's pretty well done, but it has a large range from like, I don't know, it goes from Cloud was you know, inside of that vessel next to Zack, you know, where he was kind of.
Let me just mention one thing real quick. Let me interrupt you real quick.
Sure.
If you are, how can I say that, sensitive to flashing screens, you should look away from the screen a little bit, because this part is not very pleasant to look at.
That's the disco dance lights we have right now.
Yeah, I will let you guys know when it's safe to look back, and yeah, we're good. It's just a small section of flashing screen. So sorry, go ahead. You can continue.
You cheated all in the game about yourself. You didn't grow. You didn't improve. You took a shortcut. I'm sorry. I was starting to read out a meme. I'm sorry.
Memes are nice.
I know. I don't want to read it.
Oh no, I chose the wrong option.
Maybe I should.
I just want to share.
I should have chosen. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Real quick, we got back-to-back a $1,000 anonymous donation and then a $2,000 anonymous donation. Thank you so much for that generosity.
Nice. Thank you. That's really generous. Let's keep on donating. You guys are awesome. Doing an awesome job.
We're at just about 3,000 left on the Sephiroth incentive. Let's try to finish that out as quick as we can and then focus all of our energy on the Super Mario 64 Blindfolded 16 star. Let's do it!
I have to say one thing right now. I completely underestimated how powerful the fact is that we are in completely boring and uninteresting part that seems absolutely not promising at all when we're like 20 minutes away from the finish of the run.
Yeah, like, we are
that's
actually
super
at
close,
the end of the game right now.
Super close estimate is actually so much better than I thought it would be. Everyone
that's
so
the beauty of this
curious.
game.
How is it possible? What are they gonna do? How is it possible that we get to the end of the game in like 10 minutes from here? It's really funny.
Safe to save here.
We have to try hard to not give spoilers. So we're just doing a solemn safety save right now. So we have.
So this is Mia's best friend, Zolom. I know Mia really likes him. He also really likes me.
I mess it up in every run.
I'm gonna force an encounter here.
I mess it up in every run.
Yeah, it's a very annoying monster. You have to actually. We should. The game wants me to get a chocobo and actually go run around this with a chocobo, but we don't have time for that. We can just pretty much manipulate his movement because he moves according to our movement, so we can make him bounce there, go all the way there, and then just curve here. I'm gonna do another menu skip here. Oh. I'm gonna do one more just to be sure. And I think
this, to be fair, is a different kind of menu skip, though.
Yeah.
Like this is in the world map. The triggers are very different from the way they work in battles. Actually.
Yeah, for sure.
So
but
this isn't like
there
frame
will be a
precise,
cutscene.
and it's not about like opening a menu on the frame where you get a fight. It's just that in world map you have certain recovery before you stop, and during that recovery you have a certain amount of frames where you can menu and you can skip triggers like that. So the main difference between that and menu buffer skips in fights is this is very generous. You just have to go
Much
somewhat
more
into
generous,
the
for
trigger
sure.
and then you hit menu and it's gone. And also the trigger never goes away. So if he was about to go backwards and run back to the swamp, the cutscene would trigger, actually.
Yeah, happened a couple times to me, especially if I'm using like what's the name? Like the front view, not the top view from the map. I'm pressing up, and if I enter the cavern and still press up, I exit the cavern.
Yeah.
So I would trigger the impaled Zolom cutscene that we skipped there. So it's like a 15 seconds time save. It's not a big deal, but always nice to get. Okay, so here I'm gonna save on a very, very specific time.
Yeah.
Double check.
This is very important because we need very certain behavior from the world map. And the main thing that determines how the
Should be
world
good.
map works.
Oh, where did I save actually? Did I save on the first slot? I actually didn't check.
The main thing
think
that
I did.
determines how the world map works is what time you save on or load on,
No,
because it's in full seconds, so it's not super precise. But when you load the world map, enter the world map from a safe or from from a cave or from whatever place. The RNG in the world map is depending on what in-game timer you have in full seconds, so not precise.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a full second switch. So when you save in the world map on a specific second, you can get basically outcomes that you already prepared every single time by just saving on that pretty much on that particular second. But you have to prepare it beforehand. So yeah, so that's the work there is not done in the run. The work is done beforehand the run. So that Dois has already prepared a time that he wants to save on before he started the run, so he knows what is going to happen.
And I just did the skip that Mies mentioned before. This is called the mention skip, also another very creative name. But this is pretty much what RJ found. Not only RJ, but he also contributed with that. We can load back the save, exit the mention that we're not supposed to exit, and come here on the Mount Nibel. And now I'll let Mies explain the rest because I'm just gonna be doing some stuff. Now is the action part.
From here is where the run gets very confusing. So the new thing, like Dois already said, is that we can leave the mention in the middle of the flashback. The flashback basically allows us to get a location that is normally much later into the run, which is Nibel Mountains. But just with a story progression variable that is giving us different outcomes. If you were about to go south from the Nibel Mountains, after the mention skip that he just did, if you go backwards, you would go back into the flashback, which is not useful. However, after the Mithril Mines, which is the save that we just loaded, the story variable is updated to a degree where going south from the Nibel Mountains gets you actually that far into the story. So you go south and you end up in actual Nibel area. And that means we use the save to warp there. With a save
now,
where we
yeah.
have... Yeah, that's the warp that's happening right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to here because the what's the name? Let me just change this real quick.
Yeah.
The main property that allows us to warp is that when I game over, I don't clear up the memory in the game, unlike the PSX version. So when I won that encounter, oh, this is the worst one. But when I won that encounter, the game thought I was in the Mount Nibel, so it warped me back there. That's like the simplest explanation.
I mean,
how are we gonna do it again?
it's more like that when you're in the flashback, you are in the same location. You're on Mount Nibel. But when you're in the flashback, the game has stored that Mount Nibel and the Nibelheim flashback are connected. You know, when you go south from the Nibel Mountains, then it goes you back to the town, into the story mode thing. But After the Mithril Mines, the story has progressed to a state where if you are in the Nebel Mountains, you go south, you enter the world map. So you skip like, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours of Final Fantasy VII. And that's very important because if we get to this world map part, we basically win. Due to the fact that, we can do something that we call extended battle mode warping. What basically happens here is that if you're getting a fight inside of a screen where there's not the basic battle mode, that means a fight where the battle mode is something like no experience screen, which happens in the flashback. You don't get experience if you win a fight or when you leave a fight. If that happens, none of the memory is cleared up. And if you take that to the world map, you get a very specific behavior. And that behavior goes as far as that when we escape an encounter, and then we win an encounter, we warp to the location in the battle IDs, in the screen IDs, that is equal to the battle ID of the fight we just escaped from.
Yeah, and now
this
we're
is
gonna
the
do
fight
some
that we
very
need.
funky things.
This is the fight we need. This is fight ID 65, and that it basically happens because in PC version, the same variable is used for screen transitions as battle transitions. And we just escaped the battle that has ID 65, and that's the room ID of the debug room. So
we're going places now, boys.
If we win a fight right now, we're gonna not transit back to the world map. We're gonna go to room ID 65 because our last battle that we escaped from was room ID 65. That's how this glitch behaves. And room ID 65 is the debug room, which is left over from the development state of the game, which is like a dark room where you can completely control the game in all its things.
I'm gonna sit here for a minute.
Yeah, let's
and
go.
I'm gonna ask you guys. I just need to know if the bravery incentive was met because I'm gonna be using it in a little bit.
Checking right now.
I'll let you guys process this.
We got 2,000 to go, so if you're getting donations in, make sure you're getting them towards that bravery incentive. We're real close, chat. Real close.
Yeah, it's gonna be in a very, very short. So I'm gonna check again. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna select this option while we hold R1. And what that allows us to do is to literally go to the end of the game. we didn't know this for the longest time. We used to do a lot of things in the debug room. Yeah, we used to level up, go to one option that sends us to Genova, and then fight Genova, Bizarro Sephiroth, Safer Sephiroth. But someone found out, I can't actually remember who it was now. But
it was Brutal AI
out,
that found it first, and RJ found it separately from that himself, but Brutal had it also before him.
Oh, okay.
It was Brutal and RJ who found it.
Okay, so shout outs to them. And now by holding R1 and selecting that option, we go straight to the end of the game. And we actually get to see the cutscene of the second reactor that we didn't see at all in this game. So that's pretty cool. The game is still thinks we are on the first CD.
So we're very close to time, by the way. This is like the last 20 seconds of the run, actually. We're very close to the end here.
Did we meet the bravery incentive? Otherwise, or just counterattack?
Hold on, well, we're 1,500 away.
Okay.
So
we just do it anyway. We're generous people here. Come on, just do it. Just do it, boy.
I'll go for future donation. I'll go for future donations. This is the classic final cutscene. And time.
Wait.
That's the end of the run.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is a bit anticlimactic because we literally go from nothing to saving the planet, but that's how broken this version is. We go to the debug room, we choose an option, and that's it.
Yeah, as a small summary, basically just Midgar and then the world map. The world map is so broken at this point that of knowledge that we have, we can just warp to the debug room, which is like a development state room, and from the debug room we can just finish the game in like 1 minute. That's basically the run. It's Midgar plus some warps and stuff. Yeah.
I just wanted to give a huge shout out to the Final Fantasy community. There's a bunch of great people there. I'm not gonna go on names, otherwise I'll be here for a long time. I want to thank Ms. Baker for commentating with me. I also thank a lot GDQ for having me. I hope you guys enjoyed it. if you wanna do any
GGs.
shoutouts, Mies.
Was a lot of fun. Yeah.
All right, so thank you guys.